Da da da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple of minutes to get those notifications out. Let people know I've gone live. In the meantime, if you've never popped into one of my lives before, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And we have been deep since I've been back on um, back from my vacation, right? I'm trying to get things done. At the same time, I feel that pushback, that little bit of a crash after accomplishing something. And I want that nothingness, right? Just to sit in my chair. I feel like I've just worked in a warehouse all day, and yet I don't think I've done anything. I've colored my bangs. I'm ready to go. Uh, Back to work? No, probably not. But to get ready and to feel like, that things are moving, that things are changing, that sometimes we have to make these, sometimes we think they're just small, insignificant changes, but in all actuality, they serve us so well. Tell you a little story about my bangs as empaths and eyes. You're gonna hear this all the time, right? Once upon a time, but it'll be as empaths and as highly sensitives. We tend to draw deep and immediate emotions that need to be dealt with in a moment, and whether somebody else is dealing with it or they can't deal with it, most often than not they drop it in our laps, right? They'll make it our problem, or make it our fault, or make it holding them back for what they want to accomplish, whatever the reason is. For the most part, people are absolutely amazing. I really do believe that, but there are stinkers in the world. But you got to understand, if there's like maybe 2% stinkers in the world, that maybe only 1% of them would be brave enough, or unkind enough, or or unintelligent to go ahead and, right, tear somebody's head off for an unexpected reason. I'm not going to say for no reason, because we all understand there's a reason why these things come to the surface and, right, expel. But what's that got to do with my hair? Well, I do tend to draw people to me. Lots of times they'll push at me, and me being that person that hates that idea of turning the other cheek, that I believe that everybody, if they've done something unkind, or if they've done something even mistakenly not acknowledge something that actually interrupted somebody else's movement or hurt somebody's feelings, right? Something inconsiderate, but we didn't mean it, right? We all stick our feet in our mouths. Lots of times we can be insensitive, and not realize, you know, um, who we're being insensitive to, because we don't know the story of the person in front of us, do we? Right? Somebody, I remember somebody just bagging my groceries just carelessly one time, and I threw a fit and I said, leave my groceries, I'll just bag them myself, because she was like onions on top of my bread and just heavy things on top of light things, and it was just, she didn't even care, right? And I cranked down her, she burst into tears. And it happened that she had just lost her grandmother. I didn't know this. All I know is my groceries are not being bagged properly. Just as an example, we don't know what's going on with somebody, and quite often will unload, right? That, right? We're going to give somebody a little bit of attitude, and they're just going to take it, right? It's going to make me feel better about myself, because I'm making somebody else feel terrible about themselves. People think that way, right? People want company in that misery, and if they don't want company in that misery, they certainly don't want you to be whistling while you work, or right, having a good time in what you're doing, right, when things aren't going so well with them. So again, sometimes we'll bring people down to that level. So again, what's that got to do with my bangs, right? Well, when I was saying that, sometimes we do things, but it serves a purpose. I love my pink bangs, right? They're a little bit bright today, but when I wash my hair tomorrow, they'll just fade out over the next couple of days, right? So first day I like them to be nice and bright because they'll start fading out. But the idea of coloring my bangs, which is something I've done since I was a teenager, in all truth. I've been dyeing my hair every 6 weeks since I was 16 years old. And that's a truth. Well, unless I couldn't afford a hair color, then maybe I'd wait an extra week, right? So, not saying exactly 6 weeks, maybe seven, but maybe five, right? But the reason I color my bangs this color is because I am highly sensitive, because I am empathic that way, but because I draw out these immediate emotions that need to be released. And they're just as surprising to me as to the person who's releasing, because you could just look in their face in the shock of what they've just said or what they've done. But sometimes we put ourselves in that situation, and right, when you say you fly by your seat of your pants, right? And they'll say, well, you deserved it. Right? Rather than saying, oh, I'm so sorry, right? I shouldn't have taken out my bad day on you, or, right, the problems in my life. And, so I do understand where it comes from. And it gives me some solace in understanding that, right? But at the same time, I don't like that blowback. I don't like that attitude coming at me. And I don't like the unkindnesses, because if they're unkind, then I have to step in, right? Because I don't turn the other cheek. You need to leave that interaction knowing that somebody noticed what you did, right? That you did something unkind, or you did something not nice, or you were maybe inconsiderate, but unintentionally, right? But just, hey, you want to apologize to him? Or, he didn't mean that. Did you have to do that? Is there, right? Or you can go at it in a different way, right? To say, hey, what's that? That's not like you. Like, right? Do you want to talk about something? And sometimes these are just introductions, or not introductions, they're interactions to introduce us, to give us that opportunity to walk into a conversation, right? So the pink bangs, that pink bangs is to give somebody a moment. Sometimes it's just a second that somebody needs to say, that woman's got some personality. I better not say what I want to say at her, because I don't know. She just might come right back at me. And you know what? They might be right on that, because, I'm only human, and I am programmed with a lot of stuff that, even though I'm working through it and I understand it and it's slowly dissipating out of my life, I can be triggered just as much as the next person. And when I see those unkindnesses, even when I experience those unkindnesses, and I was brought up on turn the other cheek, right? And I turned a lot of cheek, right, in my lifetime. But you can't let people go off from getting away with doing something like that to you or somebody around you, because if you do, they're going to go off and do that to somebody else. And then that's karma on us, right? Because we could have done something about it in the moment, even if the only thing we could have done was to bring it to somebody's attention, right? Let me just X out of my hello Nancy dear. How are you? Yeah, so I got my video up, Nancy. If you want to go check out my first day of my adventure. The video is up now. I'll be starting on my next one tomorrow. The kind of idea was to, at the very least tonight, clear off all the last, right? Because all that video that I just finished working on, right? It holds data, a lot of data. So I got to get in there and I got to clear it all off of my computer, right? And get ready to start the next day of my adventures, right? And hopefully I can get it up a little bit faster than the last one, but there's no rush as long as I am consistent because I do have my lives that go on every day, but at the same time there were lots of experiences, lots of fun stuff going on. Oh, awesome, Nancy. I'm glad that it got suggested to you. That's awesome. I was really happy today that something got suggested to me. I'm a big fan of Jamestown Discovery. It's a YouTube channel. It's all about Jamestown and it's set up by the actual archaeologists who are working on the digs of Jamestown. I don't know why I'm so fascinated with Jamestown. I'm not even American, I'm Canadian. But I am so excited about all these discoveries that they make. And it has been excavated a few times over the past couple of 100 years, right? But they have dug into a new well in Jamestown. And while I was on holidays, I think it was on September 19th, they found a dagger in the privy. They found it's so exciting, so exciting. Like these are the very first American relics. I'm not even American. I don't know why I'm so fascinated by it, but I do love history. And I also understand that things come across my path for a reason. And even though I don't understand my interest in Jamestown, I understand that there's an interest in Jamestown. So when I get suggested a video, right, and I was pretty excited to see that they had found a dagger in a privy. I think it was in a privy, or was it a well? I can't remember. Yeah. Something that they found recently and they've been excavating it, but they're archaeologists. They're very meticulous and they're very slow about everything. So it'll be a while before we hear anything. I know like it was 2017, I think, was it 2017 or was it 1997? Those two dates are popping out when they found Dragging Man, right? Which is a form of human that lived at the same time as the Neanderthals and the Homo sapiens, right? So three different types of humans living at the same time. Now, the Neanderthals, they've been gone for like, I think, 80,000 years or something, right? I could be wrong. No, no, not that long. Not that long. But at the same time, right? That understanding that when we make these discoveries, that it takes a lot of time for the real information to come to the surface. And if it's done properly and it's done scientifically, it should take a lot of time because you want the right answers. You don't want a answer, right? I would always prefer the right answer, right? Not a creative answer, not an answer with a lot of dazzle and amaze, right? Not an answer that inspires and makes sense. I want the truth, right? No matter what it is. Okay. Hello, Melvin. I am. I'm drinking a coffee. I make a really good cup of coffee. I went to the Shoppers yesterday, Shoppers Drug Mart, their President's Choice brand that they carry. They are lovely coffee brands. So when they go on sale, I do sample them because they have quite a few of them, and I have my favorites that I usually stick to. But I do like to try them all, and I tried a new one. I think this one is from Ethiopia. This coffee. Mm. But it's a really, really nice coffee. But it sits over here because I'm so afraid of knocking it over on my computer. That earlier this week when I was doing my live, I finished my live without letting any of you guys know that I had need my coffee that's on a shelf right here, and it ended up all over the floor. So right after my live, I had to wash my carpets in the bathtub, right? And then I had to wash my floors, and but you guys didn't even know that because I just kept a straight face. Malvin, did you see my video I put up last night yet? I know Robert saw it. Robert saw my video, right? Oh my goodness. Happy birthday, Robert. Happy birthday. Right? 64 years old. That's amazing, right? That's unfortunate that you thought you would never make it to 64, but I get it, right? My father, he never thought he would make it into his 30s, let alone his 40s, 50s, or 60s, right? And he lived to be 47 years old. And in those 47 years old, he probably stuffed 100 years of adventure into those 47 years, 100%. But happy birthday, Robert. But also a year to recover from falling down those stairs. That's awful. And of course you're here for a reason. 100% you're here for a reason. Ha ha. Yeah, that was me, Malvin, all excited about the Jeep. I was all excited about the Jeep. You just made 74, meaning you're 74 years old, Malvin? I'll be 62 this month. Well, in October I'll be 62. I was 15 minutes from being a Scorpio. Yeah, I am a interesting, unique character. Maybe it has something to do with that. Mm, good coffee. Yeah, I edited my video today. I didn't do much except for, like I said, I did my bangs and I washed up some dishes. I was gonna make a fried rice for dinner, but I didn't even do that. So I should throw the roast that I cooked for the rice into the freezer so that it doesn't spoil. Long walks. I was actually thinking of maybe going for a walk tonight, Robert, after my live show. I think I need to get some juices. I've been really enjoying this apple apple orange lime. It's a citrus, but it's got apple in it, and it's really, really, really good fruit juice. I really water it down though, but it's much better for me than soft drinks. So I thought I need to get some juice that because I had to get outside. I was looking for an excuse to get outside for a little bit. I thought, oh, I'll go to the grocery store and I'll get some juice. Yeah, Andrew too, right? Is still having troubles. And my sister, I talked to my sister yesterday. Well, I talked to her a couple of days ago. It takes her a while to get back to me, right? But she was saying that she's still feeling it. She still needs a couple of weeks. She just had her hip replaced, right? But supposedly she's doing good with her physio. Uh but that's what I was saying, Robert, when you were saying that, that your car wouldn't make it. I rented that Jeep. That Jeep is not mine. I couldn't afford that $80,000 vehicle, right? I rented that for my trip. I did that trip for a couple of paychecks, right? One paycheck covered the truck. Mind you, I saved a little bit, put money away for that, right? And yeah, and then just saved a paycheck to go along that and created my vacation. And I'm a prime example that it can be done because I work part-time at Goodwill, right? Right? And yet I create these amazing experiences for myself, right? Because this is my life, right? I'm not living to put a roof over my head. I'm living to live, right? So, oh, thank you, Robert. That's nice of you to say, right? But yeah, people asked me the whole time I was planning my trip if they could come with me, but this is something that I do by myself, right? This is something I do just with myself. Again, I find that I let people plug into me throughout the entire year. And then at the same time, I have to get what I need to get done. And I got to put a roof over my head. And I'm building my brand, right? And I'm saving some of that, right? Some of that fullness in my own cup for myself that I can have experiences like this, right? So I would much prefer to be on these trips by myself. That doesn't mean I wouldn't want to go on trips with other people, but this one trip that I reverse engineer for myself, that I create, that I plan for myself, this one trip, this one I do just for me, just for myself. And I tell you, I've still got a week of holidays and already but it is what it is, and it is the way it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to trust it in that. Oh, yeah. And a van would set up really nice as an RV, Robert, if you wanted to go on a little trip, right? If you got some beautiful state parks where you live, right? Or if you have some nice quiet river spots or something that you could just go off and just be by yourself. I think probably that's what you could use too, Robert, right? You've told us stories of your family, and sometimes you need to disengage in that. And sometimes we can't disengage, right? Because others won't disengage. So sometimes we have to just kind of force ourselves, right? I like Dodge. Dodge is a pretty good brand. I've had a couple of Dodge vehicles, right? I was the queen of the beaters 100%, but I knew nothing about these cars that I drove except how to put gas in them. I wouldn't even fill up the tires. I would let somebody else fill up the tires for me just because I would be afraid that a tire would blow up in my face, right? But yeah, we took the truck back. It was they I took it in for a car wash. I filled it up with gas. There shouldn't have been any problems, but you're always nervous that they might be, those kind of people that will kind of notice something. And I noticed something. I don't think I did it because of the space that it was in and how I had my Rubbermaid containers. There really wasn't any reason for that space underneath there to have that there. But there was some gum stuck to the mat in the front seat. It was almost black. You didn't even notice it. But because I'm being meticulous in getting the truck ready to return, I took it upon myself to see if I could clean it off, right? But I'm pretty certain it was already there, and I just didn't notice it when I rented the truck because, like I said, I had a Rubbermaid container sitting on that spot the entire time. Yeah, I had something sitting there the entire time, and there really wasn't any reason or possibility for me to right have something on my shoes or anything because my shoes would never have hit that spot. But everything was good. They took the truck back and everything was good. And I guess I've been crashing. There was that little bit of heat on my neck because I needed to get my first video up. Finally got it done today. It was really frustrating, you guys. I don't like editing video. I hope I did an okay job. I hope I did an okay job. I did the best. And every time I edit a video, I'll get better and better and faster and faster. I actually rendered that video 3 times and twice rendering that video because I was rendering it in a very high quality. They were over 2 hours each. I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning working on it. And then today I couldn't find the file. When I woke up, I was, oh my goodness. I went ahead and I re-rendered it again. And then when I went in to find the file, I couldn't find the file again. So the next time I rendered it in a different format, in a less good quality format, and then I figured out where the file was, right? And I could have had my first render up first thing this morning, but because I couldn't find the file, right, to where I saved it, and I had a hard time finding it. So it was frustrating. It truly was frustrating. But at the same time, I was proud in the end that I got it done, right? I got the video up and I haven't even taken a dent out of some of that content that I filmed on my trip, you guys. There's so much of it. And I think even in this part, I think I might have omitted a couple of things, but I think the next video will start the next morning. I think we're going for a walk, I think, down by the river, the rushing river, because, yeah, up until that point, I didn't see any rushing water. It just seemed like a nice, calm lake to me. Okay, you guys, just a short one today. I'm going to go to the grocery store now. I got time. I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to get some juice and come home and I'm going to dump all those big files that are on my laptop. So I'm ready to go and start editing another video tomorrow. Tomorrow's another big day because I want to start bringing out my winter clothes tomorrow, which means there's got to be donation bags done, there's going to be garbage bags done, and there's going to be laundry that's going to be done. And then, of course, all my summer clothes have to be packed away at the same time. So, have a great birthday, Robert, right? Um, yeah, it is hard. It is hard to edit videos. Well, yeah, I think it's hard. I think it's hard. I'm just not technically inclined that way, and I will be happy. And if you wanted to ever be my video editor, Nancy, have at her. I've got lots of content. You can make lots of videos for my channel. Okay, you guys, have a great night, and we'll probably, maybe see you tomorrow. If we don't, oh no, we won't see tomorrow. I don't do I don't do What's My Good Cheer on Saturdays. So we'll see each other on Sunday night, right? For Chatters Live, and then Monday we'll be back picking a new word for next week, getting back on track. Everybody, happy birthday to you, Robert. Thank you, everyone, for popping in today. And thank you for wishing Robert a happy birthday. I have the best crew ever. Okay, you guys, have a great night.